Hey y'all, it's Bonnie. I'm hoping not to edit any of this because I just want to upload it and go. It is Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend and that you have a fantastic week. I'm kind of just in shock today. I try to keep my eye out for all these natural disasters and everything that's happening so that I can keep everybody in my prayers, and I was keeping an eye as normal. And I know the California wildfires have been crazy, and if for those of you who watched my Q&A video, you would know that I grew up in the mountains in California. And there was a wildfire, and I saw a post. One of my aunts posted looking for one of my cousins and asking if anybody had heard from him because he was up there and there was a big fire. And I don't know why. There's so many houses up there, and something just clicked with me that my dad's house was in the path of this fire. And it wasn't a big fire. It wasn't like the Napa Valley fires. Only 3 homes were lost at the time that I was watching this. There were one confirmed house. I do believe my dad's house was the first one to go. Whew, hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was like intuitive. I just knew. I even woke Dennis up and I was like, Dennis, I can feel it. Dad's house is going to be gone when I wake up. I couldn't get any information. I was on Facebook like, what is going on? Has anybody heard anything? Is Dad's house okay? I posted it on Twitter, and I had some people say, I hope your dad's okay. I'm sorry, my dad passed away in 2006, so my concern wasn't, for my dad's safety, but I still have 2 little brothers who last I knew lived in the house. The house is still in the family. And all of us grew up there. Generations of us grew up there. It's been in the family for eons. And the thought of, we didn't take anything down from the mountain when Dad passed away, as far as like our childhood pictures, mementos. We just we left it as a living museum, kind of. And that's how we thought it was going to stay. But we know that he wanted our little brothers. He adopted 3 boys, so he just had me and my 2 sisters. And then when he was in his 60s, he adopted his wife's great-grandchildren, 3 of them, 3 boys. So, and she died too that same year in 2006. Both of them died. So that left everything in a trust to the boys until they were 18. And so I had no way of reaching them to see if they were okay. And I was so worried. I was up all night long. And I did see news reports, and it said it was on my dad's street. And I knew there were only 4 houses on that street. And it's not a small street, it's a big street, and I knew it was a big fire. And when I heard the fire was headed to his street, and at that time there were no structural fires that were residents, like some garages or barns had burned down or something. But oh wow, yeah, I woke up. I called my sister. I woke her up. I said, I think Dad's house is on fire. And I'm thinking, all of our childhood memories are gone. And she's like, just, you don't borrow trouble. Wait until morning. I stayed up all night, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm calling fire departments. I'm calling the news. I was trying to find stuff out. And the next morning, one of my nieces, she grew up there in the house, and she was living there, until they moved down to be closer to school, just a couple of years ago, and they rented the house to an elderly lady. She confirmed that the house was gone. I didn't know the house was rented at the time. She confirmed that the house had been totally destroyed, and she sent me a picture, and I lost it. I lost it. I was hyperventilating and just, when you're crying that hard that you're just like, and then video. A neighbor, because Saturday they let people up. They had evacuated, But Saturday, they let people come check the damage, and somebody just had driven past the house really slow and taken the video footage of everything gone, and it's just, it's hard to look at. I got married there. Me and Dennis, we were married there. We've been married 30 years. And in fact, my dad married his wife, who he was married to at the time of his death. He married her up there. A lot of special events were held up there. My grandmother's 90th birthday, which she didn't live to see, which is so bizarre. Who does this? Our family. My grandmother, just a couple of weeks before her 90th birthday, passed away. I went ahead and had the party. That's what she would have wanted, and that's what the family did. They gathered together. But she had other birthday parties there too. Big events were always held up there, and we'd camp. At our wedding, we camped. All of our friends brought tents, and it was fun. We camped out. So anyway, I can't even begin to tell you the memories that I have up there, and it's gone. And I found out that when they moved, they had taken everything out of the house. I was able to breathe. I'm like, okay, all of the memorabilia is still there, even though, you know, I shouldn't put emphasis on material things. My dad wasn't a rich man, but what he had was so special to all of us, and we just want it preserved for future generations, that's all. So knowing that it's still there, that his things, the things that make him the mountain man that he was. Oh gosh, y'all. One of these days I'll share some pictures of my dad. I said in my thing, I was raised like Alaskan bush people. I'm not a city girl. Anyway, yeah, the house was fine. And then for a good cherry on top of this story, the old lady that had rented the house was asleep. This fire was, I think it was 2 o'clock in the morning when the fire started, and I'm watching everything, and I'm like trying to alert everybody. And I saw this woman's post on Facebook, and she lived on the other side. There's a mountain across the road from my dad's. And then you see my dad's house, and then there's a big hill. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing here. I got to make a smaller scale. You know, there's mountains, there's hills. So this kid, I don't know, he was like 10 years old maybe, because he was on the news, I saw him. When he saw the fire come over the hill, and then it dipped way down, the land dipped way down on my dad's property before it came up onto where the house was. So when he saw it come over the big hill and how fast it was moving, his mom screamed at him, but he didn't stop. He ran across to he must have jumped the fence, because there's a big gate that shuts that doesn't let cars in. But he banged on the door and woke that woman up and got her out of that house just in time. The back of the house had caught on fire as he was getting her out. And the cows were, the news reports and her Facebook post says the cows were freaking out, and she was so mad at her son. She was hollering at him but he didn't, you know. So kudos to him. He saved somebody's life. And I would have hated for somebody to die tragically there. That would have been horrible. My dad died there in the house on the property. But, you know, that was planned. It was expected. Well, nobody's dying unless most people's dying is not planned. My dad had cancer, so we knew he was going to die. This is depressing. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this light and on positive notes. My dad did die there, but that was his wish. But this poor woman, I know that was not her wish to die in a fire that was just rolling through that fast. So, yeah, the house is crumpled to the ground, and she's okay, and her cows are fine. I have to say, there's one thing that's disturbing to me. There was a news report of a man who lived down the hill from my dad on another piece of land. And on the news, I know people aren't thinking straight when they've been in a disaster. But he said he didn't lose his house. His house didn't burn. And he said that he believed the only reason his house was saved was because the people at the church were praying for him. But the folks up the hill weren't so lucky. That's his words. I don't think God works that way. Sorry, guy. I don't think that's how God works. It's nice to feel like you're special. I know. But God doesn't like grant your prayers because the church is praying for you and let everybody else die or burn or their houses burn down. That's not the God I believe in. So that's always disturbing to me when people throw that stuff in, like, you know, like nobody was praying. I was here praying like crazy that my dad's house wasn't burning down. So what are you saying? My prayers aren't counting? Got to be a member of that church. Okay, that's a rant. I'll save that for later. But another guy lost his house and 100 animals. I was crying. That was a huge loss. And then my best friend that passed away, her sister lives up there in the mountains. She's a park ranger, and she is working on a sanctuary, an animal sanctuary, and gosh, just awesome people. It lifts my heart up. So yeah, she's I'll try to get the information and put it in here for any of you who might live in California. A lot of animals ran from the fire and ended up misplaced. They're finding the wrong kind of animals in places they shouldn't be. I don't know where all that came from. There was some... People keep saying they're seeing orbs in my thing. I don't know. I'm seeing stuff too. So anyway, yeah, she's doing like an animal sanctuary and helping out animals and providing care for them during this time as they're found, and instructing people on safety. Don't go after a wild animal. These are cornered, scared animals, but if you haven't caught on, I'm all about animals. I love animals, and I like to keep them as safe as possible. So that's why I really love cruelty-free products and stuff like that. Okay, y'all. That's all. So nobody died in this particular fire. So what can I take out of that but a blessing? The house holds a lot of memories, but houses can be rebuilt, and we keep those memories right here. Right here. And then we pass them on so that when we die there, you're in somebody else's memory bank. Well, we keep them right here, but we hold them dear here. And we pass those on. Like my grandchildren, none of them ever met my dad, but they know. They know who he is, and they know all about him. In fact, I'm in the process of writing some children's stories and storybooks about growing up on the mountain, kind of Little House on the Prairie, the Waltons, that kind of thing. Okay, for those of you who know and sent condolences on Twitter, because I did post that on Twitter, thank you. My heart was broken, but it's okay now, and I'm okay. And we'll either rebuild or... I don't know. I don't know. But it'll always be a special place. So just wanted to throw that in there. And so this week, you guys, keep an eye open. It's going to be a fun week of videos. I have got Tuesday. If I have my schedule right, these could be on different days. So I'm just going to tell you what I have, and you don't know what day they're coming up. I have an unboxing mail haul coming in. Sorry, from Hawaii, and then from another company, somebody from a company, and then I have my birthday mystery boxes came in from eBay and Holler, so that's two separate videos. I did the eBay mystery unboxings in one video, and then the next video was the Holler mystery unboxing. So I hope my mom tunes in, because that was with the money she gave me for my birthday, so I wanted to see what she got me. Lots of fun. And then, of course, Friday will be wish hauls, so God willing and the creek don't rise. Take care, everybody. Love you. God bless. See you soon. Bye.